Unfortunately, a lot of injuries to talk about this week. Ken Walker departed after only 3 carries against the Rams. He had 36 yards on those 3 carries. Seemed like it was going to be a pretty big day. He has a jammed ankle. Quote unquote, classic Pete Carroll. He brings out a word we haven't used for injuries since like the 90s. That's jammed. I remember jamming my ankle, when I was my 7th grade basketball coach in 1999. Like, yeah, it's jammed. He has no idea. He just knows that it's hurt. And that's kind of where we are with Pete Carroll. He was called questionable initially in the game, Ken Walker. He didn't get the immediate rule out. Then he was ruled out at halftime. And then DJ Dallas hurt his ankle. And it wasn't – so they had to rush someone back into the game because Tony Jones got shaken up. Right. And they rushed back DJ Dallas. Even though he was labeled doubtful, maybe that's just more about protecting Ken Walker's health. But, like, when they had to force someone back in, it wasn't Ken Walker. He's, at best, questionable for Week 14. Who should we be at? Travis Homer missed Week 13 with an illness and a knee injury. Tony Jones is just bad, Denny.
Yeah.
What's the situation?
I'm not targeting Tony Jones at all. I think it's either DJ Dallas or Travis Homer. Homer was out with an illness.
He was also listed with a knee, but I think he was out with the illness.
Right. And so you'll have to see his, track his practice participation. I guess if I were forced to choose, if someone were holding me outside a helicopter and saying, choose one, I would say, why are you taking this measure?
Sounds like good content, actually. We should send a few emails.
You're going to have me on a helicopter next Monday.
Well, hashtag, we make it a whole thing, hashtag dangling Denny.
Wow. Oh my goodness. This has legs, folks. Yeah, this is happening.
Denny, we're dangling Denny. Which Seahawks running back, Denny? But you don't feel so smart now, do you?
Don't pee yourself. Oh, there it goes. So I would scream.
No, I just realized what you said.
I would scream, DJ Dallas, let me go. So yeah, because he does profile, I think, more as an early down guy. Now Homer will is a pass catching specialist. I think he will take over as that pass catching back when he returns, if he returns this week. But so I would prioritize Dallas. I think Homer should be rostered, especially obviously if Walker's going to miss more than a week. But I think that you can kind of ignore Tony Jones.
So we don't know what's going on with DJ Dallas's health either. Like it's pretty messed up situation. I feel like they could maybe almost have to sign somebody. But DJ Dallas, he did come back in, even after he was listed doubtful. He did come back in and play.
So you never see that.
No, you really don't. I mean, they were down spectacularly bad.
It's actually amazing.
I think they might have let Tony Jones play through a concussion because they were so low, and he was kind of like dazed after a big hit, like right after DJ Dallas was hurt. And we're like the independent spotters, like, man, if I rule them out, they don't have a single running back.
They literally are gonna have to put DK Metcalf in the backfield.
Yeah, so I don't know what was going on.
So there, just real quick, the numbers from the Seahawks Week 13 game against the Rams. DJ Dallas led the backfield in routes, in carries, while Tony Jones saw 4 targets to lead the backfield. So there's just nothing really like inspiring here. And actually, I think that against the Rams, this led to a pass heavy attack. I think they could continue in that direction if Walker misses this week. So it's great for Geno. It's great for Metcalf and Lockett.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the untold thing. Like they've tried to keep a hard cap basically on Geno's volume, but by necessity they had to expand yesterday, and he answered with his best game of the year, 367 yards, only a second 3-touchdown game, which is actually through the air, pretty surprising stat. Or Geno, you gotta hand it to him. I did not hand it to him earlier in the year, and seems to be quite good.
Like every elitist, you laughed.
I laughed at Geno and I laughed at Jeff Wilson, and look where that got me.
The Geno Hive knew better.
They did. Boy, did they ever. Man, they were upset. They were very, very upset. I was trying to think of a segue, and I could not. Speaking of upset.
You know what else is upsetting?
Yeah. The Jets backfield, Denny. It's actually not it's actually quite positive, the Jets backfield. Zonovan, better known as Bam Knight, reached 100 yards on the ground against the Vikings. He's cleared 100 yards from scrimmage each of the past 2 weeks. He had 69 yards rushing in week 12. That's a total that he's reached both weeks. Michael Carter's only reached 69 yards on the ground one time all season. Zonovan Knight providing the best non-Breece Hall rushing the Jets have seen all season. He was added in a lot of leagues last week, but he's still under 50% rostered this week. Even with Michael Carter maybe coming back, I mean, it's to the point where we have to really, really be aggressively targeting Zonovan Knight at this point, don't we?
I think so. And I do just a word about the Jets this past week. The Jets ran 85 offensive snaps against the Vikings. So, that's Flacco-esque volume. That's what we were seeing in the first 3 weeks of the season. And that will inflate numbers, I think, to the point where guys will start looking a little more appealing than they are. Now, Zonovan Knight led the backfield with 47 snaps on those out of 85. He split with Ty Johnson on pass routes. Ty Johnson ran a couple more routes but Ty Johnson saw 7 targets to 5 targets for Knight. So he basically got like half the passing down stuff and almost all of the early down stuff, where James Robinson only saw 4 carries. So I think that his role is pretty safe as long as Michael Carter is out. My fear is, and my thought is going forward, if Michael Carter comes back this week, it's a mess. Like I actually have trouble like telling folks what to do with any of them, with Ty Johnson, with Carter, with Zonovan Knight. I would think that Zonovan Knight's performance over the past 2 weeks, he's been good, like yards per route run and yards before contact and everything. Like he's actually been pretty good. Maybe the team is going to lean into him as the lead back, but Michael Carter is not going to just sit on the sideline.
I don't know. He might. He's not. They don't like him. They don't think he's good. We've had this debate on it. They just don't think he's good.
No, obviously they have an issue with him. Yeah,
he might not be. But I misspoke. Zonovan Knight did not have 100 yards rushing against the Vikings. He had 90. But I mean, it was more yards than Michael Carter had on the ground in any game all season. I didn't realize the play volume thing, though. That's a really interesting point. I did not realize the Jets ran 80 something plays.
Right. So yeah, and just if we could go down the list a little bit, like you have let's see, you have Elijah Moore, 45 routes, right? So he saw 6 targets.
So I'm sure he had like 90 yards, right?
No, he did not. He had two catches, but I mean, so his 6 targets on 45 routes really poor. Corey Davis saw 9 targets, but again, he ran 46 routes. So it's just, there's so much volume for the Jets. That's not going to happen every week.
Zonovan did catch 5 balls.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think he will be the lead back. I think Michael Carter, maybe with nothing else, was like take over the quote Ty Johnson role. I just think they're not satisfied at all with Michael Carter's early down performance, and kind of why would you go away? But football coaches are constantly doing self-defeating things. So we shall see.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and Rotoworld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from Rotoworld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.